Hey everyone, Will McReynolds, KP9 Interactive, creators of WorldCAST. So, creating designs in a spatial area requires a little bit of work, but we've made it super easy. So check this out. So if you go to studio.worldcast.io and go to ShowCAST, this is your world scale SLAM system, which allows you to place objects in reality at scale. So let me show you how the fundamentals of this. So we're just going to quickly open up ShowCAST. We're just going to call this, we'll just call it spatial design. You can call us whatever you want, of course. You can make it easier to find later on if you want. In this case, I know that this area behind me, I have about 6 feet from where I'm sitting to the couch, so about 1.8 meters. And there's about a 1.8 by 1.8 square roughly in front of me. So we're going to go with that. So you can pick whatever metric you want, centimeters, feet, inches. In this case, we can go, I'm going to pick feet, and I'll show you why in a minute. So I'm just going to go 6 feet. Instead of, I usually just go with meters, but in this case, I want a little bit more extra squares. Because when I go create, the grids on WorldCAST actually become the metric, they become a unit of scale. You can see that we have, they're all squares. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now if you notice from this corner right here to this corner right there, right inside the circle, this is the best area to use. This arrow down here represents where the user is going to stand. So that's, the arrow is where the content is going to be placed in front of them. That arrow denotes a person, i.e. you or anybody else is going to check out this design. So if we start from this corner here to this corner here, so we can make that square, we'll have 6 up this way and 6 down this way. So that's our 6 feet. So let's grab an object here. I'm just going to grab a free item. So we'll just grab maybe a random, let's just grab a robot, keep it easy. We don't need to be animated in this case, but we could grab an animated one. This looks like a fun one. We'll just import this. So we have this robot coming in, and the robot right now is 5.4 feet tall. So let's just make this a little bit smaller of a robot. And we'll just go, we want it to be right directly on the ground plane. So if you go here to altitude, all you have to do is just go here, highlight it all, and go 0, and that will drop it right down to the floor plane. And we're simply going to move this back. And now we're simply going to go back to Sketchfab, and we're going to maybe bring in a box. Picking this up as I go, so there's no real rhyme or reason to my design here, just to illustrate scale. So if we bring this over here, and we'll just bring this down to, maybe we want this to be a 2 feet by 2 foot box. So let's drop it down onto the ground. And let's bring it right down to this edge, which we know roughly is the boundary in reality of the space. So I might just push in just a few inches. So there we go. I'm just going to add one more item here. I'm just going to add some text just for fun. And I'm just going to go, hello followers. I appreciate all the follows lately, so if you're watching this, please subscribe. I noticed that there's a lot of viewers that aren't subscribing. And if you're enjoying this content or want to learn more about spatial design and WebAR, especially using our platform, now some of this stuff can also be applied, that I talk about, can also be applied to other systems. In this case, this is a very WorldCAST centric one. And I'm just going to leave it as is. I'll just make this a little bit thicker. And yeah, I'm fine with that. So I'm going to go save and publish. Again, this could have been animated content, but this just shows how you can take multiple objects and place it in a spatial design at world scale, with spatial design at world scale. Once it comes up, we're just going to select free. Of course, you can upgrade, and the more months you buy in advance, the more of a discount you get. In this case, we're going to leave it on free. I'm going to go checkout, and I'm going to scan this QR code. I'm going to have that content come up in the portal. So full disclosure, I was off a little bit in my measurements. I just adjusted a little bit. So if I tap to place my space, it's going to be the size it should be. So there we go. So we have the box right at the edge of the space. We have this 6 foot by 6 foot room. And it should be like right at the edge of the couch. Let's maybe just a little bit on it. Let's just move it forward a bit. Oh, it says actual body is bigger. Okay, got it. And then there's this box right here. Now, maybe we want this to be smaller. So here's another little trick you can do. So maybe we want this to be a desktop experience. All I have to do is go cast properties, simply change this over to inches, and go update, save, check out. Now, I don't really have to scan that QR code again. Since this is browser based, I can just simply go refresh and it will load in the newest content. So the reason that I did this in a way to be a desktop experience was just to show how fast you can change the scale of the entire cast. Did that reload? Let's just do that again real quick. So if I place this, it will now be desktop sized. It will now be the size of my desktop. Now, you don't have to put a printer or anything. This is not bound to the print by any means. This is not using PrintCast. Just when I have a white table, there's nothing to grab onto, so I just put something down just to grab my desktop a little bit better. But it's nice and stable, and it's the size you would expect it to be because we told it to be in a 6 inch by 6 inch area. So that's a quick introduction to how you can use ShowCAST for spatial design, really easy using the grid that's inside the system, as well as be able to tell the system how big you want these objects to be in reality and how far you might want something to be off the floor. So in this case, you can have full control of all that. You can have full control of how far away an object is as using this grid below, or as well as how big it is in reality. So as always, I can't wait to see what you create.